All right, all right. Listen, man, we are here. We are back live for another episode of the Social Impact Plight of the Black Man in America with me hosted and Malcolm co-hosted. My name is
Yes,
Deontay Cooley with my
sir.
bro Malcolm Pulliam here for the co-host. Bro, how you feeling tonight, man?
I'm all over the place. I ain't even gonna lie.
Ooh, I wasn't expecting that. Usually you good. You know, your response usually, I'm good. You know, I'm always good. So, I mean, that might be something to dive into.
Yeah,
When you say all over the place, I ain't
Yeah.
gonna hold you. Like this has been a rough little week for me too. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's been more, more family stuff and more personal stuff. But I'm just happy to be alive and happy to have the opportunity to, sit
absolutely.
here, have a conversation and engage with the people a little bit, man. So our last, I want to say 3 lives.
hmm
Our last 3 lives, we had some guests come in here. Last week we had Rock Copeland. The week before that we had EJ Fike, and then the week before that we had Alicia Lindsay. So the conversations have been building, it's been growing, it's been great. And I'm like, let's do one tonight. Like, I reached out to a couple people to try to set some things up for the weeks coming, but I figured, let's get together tonight and let's do it just me and Malcolm and see how things flow, see how we can engage with the people and see if there's any topics or any subjects that we should be or we need to be discussing that might be pressing when we talk about the plight of the black men in America and some of the
Yes.
things and issues that we go through and we deal with. First thing I heard you say was I'm kind of all over the place. So there to share.
Look, this been a hard couple days for me, just because of Snow Dog, and I can't hide it. I can't front. That's my sister.
Right.
We go back. So to lose her right now it's a crushing blow to me and my family, and I know it's a crushing blow to her family just over the last 2 years of what has happened within her family dynamics.
Right.
And for this to come to this point where we at right now, that's why I say my emotions is everywhere. I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I'm all over the place.
Right.
Like, I know, we had them shows about mental health and all of those natures of what we want people to see about and talk about mental health.
Right.
These is one of those moments where I needed a little somebody to talk to me, because when I say I'm all over the place, my mind is all over the place. Like, what saved me today is I had a drive at work. So I was on the highway. I can listen to music. I can focus on other things, and my mind is diverted. But still thinking about what everybody has been through in my past 2 years.
Right.
It's a lot, It's a heavy plate. I think about my wifey, because Snow Dog's sister, Kia, and my wife is best friends. She was our maid of honor in my wedding. She's lost a brother going on. It's going to be 1 year going on Smoothie leaving.
Right.
So I'm just all over the place, and I'm trying to calm myself down.
I definitely feel you, man. R.I.P. to Snowy Crosby, man. We sending love, sending prayers to the whole entire family. Snorri was definitely somebody who was loved in this city. She was somebody who definitely was known. I've shared multiple times as far as like how impactful she was to me. Snowy and I, we had a different type of relationship, but it's always love and it's always respect. And then also tomorrow morning, we will have a special episode of Social Impact Plight of the Black Man in America, running tomorrow live on Black Test Media. And it's going to be a special episode for Snowy, R.I.P. Snowy. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We are not going to let her name go forgotten. We are not going to allow her legacy to die. She meant a lot to this community. She meant a lot to her family. She meant a lot to the neighborhood in general. So for anybody who's, dealing with the grief or struggling with the loss of Snowy, we right here with you. We understand, and we all praying, and we all trying to do what we can do to keep our spirits up and to keep ourselves uplifted.
Yes.
But it was something that you said, bro. When you talk about like having those conversations about mental health and being able to talk to people and stuff like that, like that's something that we've put a lot of emphasis on.
Yes.
So then like processing that, like, if you don't mind me asking, since we here, like, what does that look like for you before you even figure, man, this is a mental health thing, or maybe I need to talk to somebody, or maybe I need some help? Like, what's the thoughts that's going through your head, and how did you get to the point to where, like, I can say this out loud?
Look, my body don't feel right. My mind definitely don't feel right. So I know when I feel this way, something ain't right with me.
Right.
And I'm not like this. I've been like this before, but when something really gets to me, my body changes, and I know that I'm not in a good headspace, and I'm not in a good headspace.
Right.
Like, I can feel my demeanor. You know how you feel your body. You know your body. And I don't feel right. I feel unbalanced.
Okay. Well, I hope that you do something for yourself to make sure that you get back on your square because you're important, you are needed, right? And I appreciate you being able to say that and share that because when we talk about us as black men and we talk about some of the things that we deal with and we talk about the plight of the black man, mental health is a major issue within our community. And then when we talk about us having too much pride or too much ego to talk about some of the things that we have going on, I just want to share with all the fellows. We'll share with everybody, but you know what I mean? It's important to talk about what's going on with you. It's important to talk about what's bothering you and also to get help and to figure out how you can solve the issues, solve the problems, or, you know what I mean? Figure out what you're dealing with and don't jump off on the deep end and don't do anything. So I appreciate you, you know what I mean? Sharing that little bit. And hopefully, you know, people reach out to you, the people who love you, the people who support you, and make sure that you on the up and ups because we need strong people for the strong people as well, man. So I definitely appreciate you, you know, with that.
Yes.
And then another thing, you know, we got our shirts. We finally got us some shirts made. You know, shout out
that.
So Elise J, she made them. Shout out to Elise. Allure by Elise is her company name. You know, reach out to her like, yo, we need some shirts. She made us some shirts. It's a Black Sis on the back. You know, we have posted some pictures or whatever, but thank you for the shirts. And we might have to get us some merch going out here too, man, because like I like this joint. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm feeling this joint, and I made my own shirts before with the cricket, and all of that. So if you watching at least right now, put your business in the put your stuff in the comments so we can make sure we get it shared so people know where to find you if you're feeling the shirts, and be on the lookout for some of the Black Sis Media merch as well, because I know Marcus Atkinson is working on getting some things, and we're going to be having some stuff that you can order. I'm not exactly sure what all is going to be or what all is going to look like, but we want to make sure that we shout out the people who are rocking with us, who are supporting us. And again, thank you for the shirts. This is great.
Let me ask you, how you feel about your face on a shirt like that?
Honestly, bro, I like it. I like it. I love the logo, man. I love the style for real. Like when shout out to Gio for making a logo. Giovanni, you know, he made the logo. We appreciate you, bro, for making the logo and then the flyers and all of that. Davina helped us make the flyers. So, you know, this is what we do here at Black Sis Media. We collaborate and we make sure that we uplift our community and we pour into the people and we shop with the people and we solicit the people who believe in us and also who we believe in. So again, shout out to Gio for the logo. Shout out to Davina for the flyers and the cards. Shout out to Elise for the t-shirt. We appreciate you. Again, so if you're looking for graphics, shout out Gio. You're looking for flyers and stuff like that. So look up Davina. And if you're looking for t-shirts, merch, and stuff like that, make sure that you reach out to Elise because I don't think one is enough, bro.
Look, I need a couple more. I told you that when you gave me this shirt, I was like, yo, them is hard.
Don't tell me. She watching, so let her know you need some more.
Elise J, you put your foot in these. I need a couple more. So we make sure you get them 2 X's together.
Right. But you know, again, and I'm glad that even talking about that, right? On the cook up this week, I talked a little bit about like how we can invest in our community. I think I talked about that on the dog walk as well when we talk about bag talk and finances and things like that. And then I made a status the other day on Facebook about gentrification and things that we can do. And I believe it is important for us to be making sure that we are supporting people who we know, who we see, and also who we know, who support, you know, other people within the community. You know what I mean? Because we'll take our dollars to, let's say, Walmart. You know, we'll shop at Walmart. We're not sure what Walmart is doing for us, for our community, or you know, some of the big name places and stuff like that. But it's important for us to recognize the people in our community who are offering services and making sure that we shop with those people, because it sounds very cliche, and a lot of people have been saying this for years, but the black dollar is very powerful.
Yes.
Black dollar is very important, but the black dollar leaves the community
absolutely
like that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And then what we do is we'll oftentimes look outside of our community for support, feeling like the people who we shop with or feeling like the businesses that we solicit are the people who are supposed to take care of us. So I think it's important for us to shop within our community.
Yes.
If it's clothes, if it's gas, if it's food, if it's flyers, and and let's see how we can start generating a dollar in our community. And again, that's cliche. But what's your thoughts on that?
You know
Because
what? It's crazy that you say that because, I've been sharing my brother Marquell Bridges,
right,
what he got going on, and they're currently down in Mississippi fighting for baby corn Wiley. So you mentioned Walmart. They're actually protesting that nobody shop at Walmart on the 17th, which I believe is tomorrow, Friday. They don't want anybody shopping at Walmart across the United States because of the state of Mississippi withholding information about what happened at Walmart and Walmart not releasing information. And this is a United States boycott against Walmart tomorrow.
Right.
And my brother Marquell is a big proponent of getting justice, and he's been leading that fight down there with a couple other people.
Right. And that's the Panther, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's funny that you mentioned Walmart, and that just clicked in my head. Like, we talking about the black dollar.
Right. Right.
That black dollar goes a long way at Walmart.
Man, this is interesting. I mean, it really does, right? And again, when we say these things, it is very cliche, and I feel like it gets ignored a lot. But like, we got to look at the temperature of the world.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We got to look at the way our community is being treated. And when I say our community, this is not just a black thing when we talk about our community, because there are plenty of people who don't look like us who also have some of the same suffrages and some of the same struggles, and they support us and we support them. You know what I mean? So I believe that it's getting to the point now to where we need to be more strategic and we need to be more intentional about where we're spending our money, how we're spending our money, and then also for the people who are receiving our dollars, how is it benefiting them and what are they doing to pour into other people and other businesses?
And I think what you said is absolutely correct. The temperature of not only our community, but across the United States is hot.
Right.
Like, there's no sugarcoating this. We're not going to sugarcoat this. Like, we don't want to make it a black thing, a white thing, but that temperature is hot. The water is boiling. It's about to tip over. In my opinion, it is boiling water that is about to tip over the pot.
Right.
And if we don't calm some people down, or people calm down, that water is going to go over that pot.
Right. And then also, even on the flip side too, when we think about like outside of just the economic impact, like we need to be realizing like how important it is for us to be having conversations and coming together, because we losing people, man.
Yes.
We losing people to the system.
Yes.
We losing people to health issues. We losing people to our people as well. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, it's been some deaths. It was a murder. You know, it was a couple deaths and murder this week. You know what I mean? So the whole baby situation, they found a baby in the bushes, a body in the trash can right down the in the dumpster right down the street here.
I think they said that was
fake.
Yeah, that was
okay.
Some
well,
BS.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that'll be clarified. But like, we definitely need to be figuring out how we can come together, how we can be extending those olive branches and building and repairing our relationships, because like we said on the show, everybody in Erie knows everybody.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, we all somehow, way, shape, or form or another, like, we all connected with one another. We all cool with one another. But when things happen, everybody acts like they don't know what's going on, right? I think it's important for us, as leaders, it's important for people who are major figures in the community to understand how important it is for us to be delivering the message of unity, delivering the message of peace, delivering the message of understanding, because we cannot be against one another anymore.
Right.
Period.
You know what I think? I think people need to stop over analyzing what a person says and lead their own charge.
Yeah.
And that's just something that I've been looking at. I think people get focused on what you say, I say, somebody else say, and they act like that's the all word. No, that's not the all word. Like, we all play a part in this community.
Right. Absolutely.
I think people, and I'm not saying people aren't stepping up, but again, going back to the climate that we are in,
right,
we need to make sure that everybody is on cue.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then even when you say that, like, in the community, because this seems to be an ongoing issue, right? And I've said this multiple times, like, we have to be doing more than just running our mouths. And we have to be doing more than just being on social media. It's more or less like, what are we doing within our community? How are we getting active in our community? Again, we talk about the unhoused population, or formerly the homeless people, or people who don't understand unhoused. Like, what are we doing to not just advocate for those people, but are we interacting with those people? We talk about people with drug issues, gambling issues, and things like that. Like, young people, what are some of the things that we are doing to pour back into our community? How are we getting more active and more involved than just social media? Because I see a lot of people on social media who have a lot of complaints, but then when we talk about motion and solutions, like, we could see, I would love to see some of those people also be willing to have conversations and be willing to do work with other people who are actually putting forth effort and doing things in the community, because it's getting to the point now where people are starting to see, oh, these people are just Facebook actors. They just social media actors. They're not really doing, and I even think, like, when it's getting to that city council meeting, like, I think it's people down there now, because I don't know the solicitor's name, but it's getting to the point now. This dude is taking notes, and everybody's taking notes. And I know when you say your name and all of that, like, they go back and they look into it and like, okay, is this person a registered voter? What side of town does this person live on? And then we all living on social media. So then they go to social media to see, okay, what is this person doing? What are they talking about? Who are they friends with? Who are they engaging with? And what I'm noticing and what I'm recognizing, and this is a lot of people who just want to run their mouth. And when it comes time to do work, like, it ain't a lot of people that's willing to get in the trenches. And like, what's your thoughts on that?
You know what? Social media is heavy right now. And social media ain't going away. Right. It's a platform for everybody. It's my platform. You got a platform on it. I just think a lot of people maneuver different with using social media. Some people is using it and they're going out and they're handling their business outside of social media. Some people use social media and it's just that. It's social media and I'm cool. Right. I feel we need to balance. Everything needs to be balanced. The balance is off of what a lot of people got going on, and that's just facts. You know who you're going to see on social media talking. Right. You know who you're going to see on social media talking and walking the walk. Right. I'm not counting on anybody right now. Been running that lane for a couple months now. Right. So in my honest opinion, if they didn't step up now to join the fight, get in the fight, or whatever the fight may be, they ain't coming.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about that one. I feel like it's still people waiting. But when you say walk the walk, like, what does that mean?
That walk the walk mean it's like if I say something on social media, right? It could be what's going on in the world, in my girl Angelica in Michigan. Right. She's going to make sure that she posts, and she's going to make sure that she makes it to those events that she is posting about. Right. That's what that's action. Right. So when you say, so now let me ask you this, because then when you say events, that's another thing too. Like, a lot of people think showing up to an event and just supporting somebody is action, but like, what about the actual work? Like, there are people who are starving. So it's like, do we just show up and say, okay, we see you starving person? There are people who have gambling problems. Do we just show up? Or like, what do we actually do to help these people? What walk the walk? What does that mean? It's like, if we talking about the garden out there on Buffalo Road, that means not just saying, oh, look at that garden. Are y'all selling the fruit? No, that means go out there and get a hoe and shovel and plant something and help them keep growing. Right. That's what walk the walk means. Right, right. You know what I mean? Right. Like, we all got big voices. It's a lot of big voices in Erie, and don't think that I pay attention to everybody. It don't matter if you a pastor, a preacher, or bishop, whatever your title may be. I pay attention to everything. I try to make sure that I will learn something from everybody, but I also want to be true to myself. Right. I want to make sure that if I'm saying I'm going to city council, county council meeting, I want to make sure that I'm there. I'm not getting up there just to speak and, oh my God, like, he did a great job. Like, no, them is from the heart. Right. Them is my feelings. Right. That's my passion about making sure our people understand that this ain't a game we living in right now. This is not a video game. Like, we losing people. We need to make sure that our young people are being educated not only in the classroom but outside of the classroom about these streets. Like, it's a lot going on in these streets.
Right, right. Yeah. I mean, the reason why I ask that is because, like, again, like when you talk about coming off social media and when you talk about doing the work, like, and again, I say this often, it's not anything about like bragging. I posted a status the other day about it because I think like it's getting to the point now to where people are seeing social media, they're seeing city council meetings and stuff like that, county. And it's like, well, what do these guys actually do? You know what I mean? Like, is they just coming to these meetings, running their mouth, and then, you know, because as soon as I lead a meeting, I'm screen recording, I'm putting it on there. But it's like the people that you advocating for, are you interacting with them? I've had conversations with different people, and they're asking me like, do you just sit around on social media all day? You know, so I've had conversations about like, you know, like we working on putting forth a gambling prevention initiative. Like, I've already started doing that in the schools with Premier Education Services. We've done vape prevention. We've done emotional health. We've done gambling prevention. Then we working on a men's group at McKinley for the McKinley parents and stuff like that. Then also working with Men Building Men, trying to help with like the reentry program. We're working on the drug and alcohol program with the Erie County Office of Drug and Alcohol. So when it comes to me, like when they talk about being active in the community, like I'm hanging with the unhoused people, helping where I can, local businesses. I'm making sure that I solicit, I support, I'm sharing. You know what I mean? Working with young people. I've been in the schools throughout the school year. The summertime, I'm interviewing with the community school directors to kind of see what I can do, how I can help, like not just running my mouth, but actually creating these relationships, connecting with these people, and actually walking the walk. You know what I mean? And what I will say, excuse me, there are a lot of people who are doing the work who aren't, you know, running their mouth or on social media or going to those city council meetings. And I just want to say kudos to all the people who are doing what they need to do and not doing it for fame or not trying to get famous for hard work and stuff like that, because it is important for us to actually be active in our community. It is important for us to be making sure that when we are speaking up for these people, when we are representing for these people, we show up for them when they are present as well as when they aren't present, and be creating and developing some strategic plans to help solve the problems. What I don't want to do is just seem like some old man who's nagging and who's complaining.
I feel that one.
So it's like more like when you say walk the walk, like it's time for a lot of us to step our game up and walk the walk, man.
Because when I'm outside, I get out there and I talk to these young boys, and I want them to make sure, like, yo, we've seen it, we've done it. Like, if you've never seen, I've had friends die in my arms, from being shot, Like, this is real. I'm 53. I've seen a lot. When I say a lot, I've seen a lot. I've lost a lot of friends to these streets. I've seen my brothers lose friends to these streets. So this ain't about going around like, oh my God, you on Facebook and you be talking and we like, no, this is for real.
Right. So like, what's the solution? What do we do? I mean, especially because again, when you talk about, like, you mentioned your age, you know, you say I'm 53 years old.
Right.
And I've talked to people about like how the No Child Left Behind Act ruined, I ain't gonna say ruined, disrupted my peers and the generations that come after that. And it's like, okay, these are the things that we can do. So when you talk about your generation, like, what can your generation of people do? How can they come together? How can they actually walk the walk? I mean, because you're saying you walk the walk. So like, I feel like if you were to be like, okay, I'm gonna lead y'all, everybody 53 to 40, like, y'all, these are the steps. These are some of the things that we should be with us. 53 to I'm 40, 45 to 40, whatever the age bracket is.
Get to 40.
What's the example? What y'all need to do? Like, what's the game plan?
And honestly, to be honest, I'm still searching for it. Because I don't have that answer. I have an answer of how I would like to move. Like, I see what Brother Jerry be doing.
Right.
I like the way he going with it. But it has to be what he's doing as far as within the church.
Right.
And making people better fathers versus somebody on this other side saying, look, I've been shot.
Right.
I've been stabbed.
Right.
I've shot at people. We've done this. We've done that. I'm here to make sure that we can stop you. And the younger generation have to look at the older generation, such as myself,
Right.
and yourself,
Right.
as role models, being good gentlemen in this community,
Right.
and not just speaking about what we've been doing.
Right.
Like they want to. You get your respect because you go out, and when people see you, they can come up to you. They can have a conversation with you. It ain't like, oh my God, I'm Deontay Cooley and I'm not about to talk to you, or oh my God, I'm Malcolm Pulliam, and like, no, we gonna have this conversation because I don't want you going to prison.
Right.
I've my son been in prison so long, bro.
Right. We
like,
got a comment.
You know,
Jerry,
that's a hurt piece.
Jerry just said, and I want to dive into this too, because I feel like we need to have a real, honest, genuine conversation, especially we talking social impact, plight of the black man in America. What he said was, I know sometimes sharing what we've been through and have done can be glorified by these youngers. So that's why everything we've done can't be shared. I know that I've done some things in the street that was vicious, so I can relate to these kids, right?
Right.
So again, I understand that, right? And that's always been the thing is like, okay, we're going to talk to the young people. We're going to tell them all the things that we did, hoping that they don't do these things, right? But I guess my question would be, what's the alternative? Like if we say, okay, listen, youngin, I done seen people die. I done seen people be killed. I done seen people shot. You don't want this life. You don't want to live in these streets.
Right.
What should they want to do?
Wow. And I don't have that answer.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
I don't have that
but,
answer.
And the reason why I asked that is because, again, and that's why I asked as far as like the generational thing. Because it's like, okay, you can tell a young person what not to do, but then the alternatives, like what should they be doing? Because if you're sitting here, like Jerry said, and we glorifying everything, or we hear these as glory stories and all of that, it's like, okay, now it sounds cool, and you telling me not to do this cool stuff. What should I do?
Right.
And if there's no answer, there's no alternative. I feel like sometimes we misguide or we mislead people.
And this is where I'm lost in that conversation, because I've been having those conversations of like, you need to do this, you need to do that, and then that next day you like, what? He got stabbed? What you mean? I just was talking to him yesterday, and we had this positive conversation, and then you telling me he went out last night and he got stabbed.
Right.
Or, you know, the biggest thing for me is when I have a conversation with somebody and they end up going to prison, I will get that letter and it will say, OG or Pops, I should have listened to you.
Right.
I should have listened to you.
Right.
Everything you said to me, you told me.
Right.
Like, some of these young boys who've been murdered on these streets, I've had conversations with them. And when they went to the penitentiary, the first thing they do is they come see me.
Right.
They say, you know.
But the thing is like, okay, so for instance, yo, don't live your life like this. You need to X, Y. Don't just stop.
Right.
And this is, I think, like when we talk to young kids in schools and we tell these young kids, you know, you don't want to sell drugs. You don't want to do all of these things. You don't want to be bad, but these kids have a handful of money, a pocket full of money, and they're being treated like they're the king or they're gods in their neighborhood or in their classrooms. If you don't give them an alternative and not just tell them what to do, but show them.
Right.
And sometimes showing them is through example, as far as like actually doing the work or actually connecting them with the people who can help. You can't expect a younger person or even an adult man to be like, okay, I'm just going to take your advice because you said I shouldn't, without leaving them with an alternative. And I think that's a big issue in our community. And then when we talk about leadership and we talk about different people being voices and being advocates, we also have to look at the body of work that they have done in their resumes and be like, okay, well, I'm not sure if I want you making decisions or telling people what to do, because the only thing that you're doing is saying stop.
Yeah.
So it's like, if the only thing that you can tell me to do is stop and you don't tell me which way to go, when you leave, I'm putting my hand back on that stove. You know what I mean?
Now that you say that, because I don't have a reference to guide them and say, yo, you can go here to speak to such and such.
Right.
But I know where I can send somebody my age to go speak to such and such to get that resources.
Right.
So I guess we got to figure out where the resources are that are genuine, that will really help these young men and women at that young age to deter them from.
I mean, I think it's adults. You can't say, "Oh, don't put me with the 40-year-olds," and then say the young men. So
no, but I'm saying,
what I'm asking you, what do you tell the adult men? Because again, you saying like,
But I don't have. I really don't have that.
Right, no.
The adults that I hang with,
right.
we like me.
Right, no, but I'm saying okay, but I'm saying if there's a struggling adult, because when I was like 53 to 40, he was like, you can't do the 40-year-olds.
Right, but that was a different conversation.
No, same conversation.
We
you,
moving.
No. It's the same conversation because it's like, okay, I said, what would you tell the people how to lead? You know, as far as your generation,
Right.
I'm like, your generation or as a generation of people who can be the example, what would you say to them to tell them the alternative? And you said 45 to 53. And he was like, I wouldn't know what to tell them. And then I was like,
yeah, you're right.
And then what I said was,
that.
it's interesting because like a lot of the people in that generation would tell people what not to do, but what to do. And then you said we should tell the young people X, Y, and Z. But what we're doing is we're skipping our own generations, and we're figuring we are not talking to the men of our generation, and we are trying to preach to young people. And then, like you said, we don't even have a direction to tell the adults. So it's more or less like, I believe that. This is just my opinion. I believe that when we talk about those age gaps, we need to be able to have groups of individuals who can speak to people in their generation or their age group to be like, yo, these are some things that we can be doing to help the generation before us, because the 45 to whatever 32, 30, whatever age we will put that in, those guys are working. And here's the champion of the age bracket. And we are the champions, and more or less, because what I'm noticing is there are a lot of people who are telling people what to do, and they don't have any, they're telling people what not to do.
Right.
But then it's like, okay, well, what should I do? And then if you don't have the resources, or if you don't have the other people who are the examples, then it's more or less like, well, I'm gonna do what I want. I see Nicole Williams said, be the example.
Yeah.
He said the key, Jerry said the key thing to these conversations is follow up. But again, follow where? You know what I mean? So it's crazy because
it's a touchy one.
Yeah, we get so wrapped up into so many things, and we feel like we're doing such good work. But then I think sometimes we don't even realize that we're leaving people high and dry when we can't be like, listen, man, don't go do this, but call my man's over here because this is what he has going on. And I already let him know that you coming, or let's have a men's group, fellas, and let's literally talk about mental health, because like you said, you dealing with and struggling with mental health. So it's like, there are men your age who would have never said that.
Right.
Never said that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, how can we talk to men about that and get them to understand they need to be tapping in themselves, because everybody's trying to lead and they don't even know who they are.
And you know what? I don't see anything in our community that caters to that.
It is.
I don't see it.
Okay. Because I know they do the men's group every third Saturday of the month at ECAT. You know, Ken Nixon and them, they do the 100 Black Men, Ken Nixon, Omega Psi Phi, they do the ECAT groups for men every Saturday. I mean, not every Saturday, the third Saturday of every month. I know right here, Elder Bishop Jones Church on 9th Street. I know they have a men's group over there. I've been seeing stuff about that. I believe it's Daryl Gibbs and I'm not exactly sure who else, but
gotta be my brother
Train,
in there.
Hemfield.
Yeah, okay.
D-Train. He involved with that as well.
Yeah.
Then you got Men Building Men with Craig Heidelberg, Tyshawn. Then you got the 100 Black Men of Erie with Marcus Atkinson and stuff like that. So again, it's like, if we can drop our ego and our pride and be like, yo, I need to talk to this, but regardless of whatever happened in the past, regardless of whatever the things are that people are saying about these folks in the street, it's like, let's just figure out how we can just go into a room and be men.
Look.
And even if we figure out we can't work with one another, we at least have that understanding of that establishment. But we need to be able to figure out how we can create these spaces if they aren't available, and attend these events when they are available, especially when we know that we are struggling and we are pretty much our own enemies at some point in time.
Look, half those programs or sessions that you just mentioned, I don't know anything about them. Haven't heard anything about them.
It's crazy.
And I'm being honest.
Yeah.
The majority, I might have heard about one of them, but you named 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah.
And I did not know that those was available. Only thing I know about is what I do in the barbershop on Saturday with my barber.
Right. And then I know Alan and they doing something. They mentoring young men, but I remember they had that mental health talk that we was over there too as well. So again, I think like we as men, like we actually need to be doing some internal work as well and looking at ourselves, because if I can't help you get to where I think you should go, then I probably shouldn't tell you where not to go, because sometimes it causes more frustration. Jerry, said it's a tough subject because I was these youngins, and I know when there were older people trying to talk to me at the time in the 90s, I wasn't trying to hear it because I've been through it and I can reach at least one of them.
Yeah.
But again, I think honestly, like that's what I'm talking about. And that's the issue that we have. You say it's a tough subject because I was these youngins, and I know when they were older, people trying to talk to me at the time in the 90s, I wasn't trying to hear it.
Mhm.
Because I've been through it, I can reach at least one of them.
Right.
So again, when we talk about relating our stories, we need to be able to be figuring out where are we going to be sending these people? What type of information are we going to be providing with them? And then this is another thing, because I know I don't know everything, not the richest person, not the smartest person, not the best dressed person. So there are people who have aspirations that I can't help them with, that I have no problem being like, yo, you need to talk to my man's over here because he can do X, Y, and Z, or these are the connections that he has.
Right.
So I believe we, as people who are trying to lead, who are calling ourselves leading, we need to be working harder on ourselves as well. So then that way we can plug people in and we understand where we are sending these people to. Because right now the city of Erie is going through a lot.
Yeah.
It's tough times in the city of Erie. And I believe that everybody is stepping up to be leaders.
Yeah.
Everybody's stepping up to try to fill a void or to take a role. And then sometimes you never know which way that can go depending on the body of work that people are doing. That was just my take on it, because we're going through a rough time right now.
Yeah.
We need people to tighten up, and sometimes the person who's need to tighten up needs to tighten up themselves.
Absolutely. And I think it's right now, I think it's so hard for us as, and I'm gonna speak for me.
Mhm.
When I see what's going on in the community, it's like a knockback for everything that I've been speaking up for the community.
Right.
So if for every bad thing that I see, it's like I'm taking 2 steps back. So I gotta keep climbing back up that ladder or that hill to make it make sense. Because you're gonna get those questions of like, you're defending this, but why you ain't defending that?
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's one of the hardest challenges that I've been facing since I've been in this I'll call it the social justice fight, or just the fight in general for our people. That's a hard thing for me to juggle,
Right.
because I struggle with that.
What do you mean when you say that? Like,
Well,
why this and why not that? What are you talking about?
I struggle with, I understand what I'm fighting for,
Right.
with getting justice,
Right.
but then when I see, I'll take somebody my youngest son age and him and who he get, they're beefing with, and something happens, and the happen is not a good happen,
Right.
and then I have to sit there and in my mind or really talk to them like, yo, this is crazy.
Right.
I'm out here saying justice for such and such, and then y'all coming back doing this to each other, and I have to speak to y'all to calm y'all down, and I don't know if I'm calming you down because you're looking at me.
Right.
We're having a conversation, but then y'all go back out and do the same thing. You know what I mean? And that plays with my mind. Like, I don't want to question myself, but I don't want to be a hypocrite neither.
What do you mean when you say that? Like, when you say you don't want to be a hypocrite, can't save everybody.
Right.
Right.
But that's just me, bro.
Right.
You know what
I
I
was
mean?
just wondering that when you say hypocrite, like,
but that's just me. That's my thought.
Right. I feel you. And I think like that's why it makes it easier to be able to have those discussions, because you see it and you going through it and you trying to get people to understand. So then when it's like somebody's doing what you're talking about not doing, you know, this person closely, it's just kind of like, it feels like a slap in the face sometimes.
Yeah.
So I definitely understand what you're saying there. And again, we have a lot of different people in the community who are just like, they don't care. You know what I mean? They don't care. And this is what I would like. I had my bro, he said this to me. He said it to me a couple times. He was like, hell exists for a reason. Somebody got to keep the fire going.
Right.
Can't save everybody.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And I feel like sometimes we spend way too much time trying to reiterate messages to people who don't understand it. And I know you said it's your son, so I don't want you to feel it. But like some people, the system just has to manage.
Absolutely.
Everybody's not sit down and talkable.
Right.
Too. You know what I mean? Everybody don't care about that, because then even if you dive a little deeper and you're like, yo, what's all the issues? What's the problems about? They don't even want to tell the honest truth because it's petty.
Right.
But now it's more or less like a pride thing or a respect thing. And then you think about some of these people who are hurting people, who are robbing people, who are taking people's lives, and you talk about pride, or you like, it's like, what do you have to be proud of for real?
Right.
Like, what are you really doing with yourself to feel like I'm going to stand on business about this one? Or you know what, because of X, Y, and Z, this is what I'm going to do and move forward. So like, yeah, I feel you there. And it's when we talk about this type of stuff, again, I think it's important for us to dive in it, to have these conversations so people can know we keeping it real.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, this ain't just, we finna sit here and act like we got all the answers. We're going to discuss the problems. We're going to divulge the problem. We're going to dive into them a little bit. And then we're going to talk about some solutions. And if we can't come up with solutions, that's why it's live. That's why we post the comments and we put the comments up, because if anybody has any feedback that'd be beneficial or something that we could talk about to dive into a little bit more so that we can educate our community, we are definitely open for it.
That's why I'm happy with who I'm around. My friends, my good friends, and they understand me. Like, there's not one person that's in on my team or in my camp that I can't text, and everything is going to be a different answer that whomever I text. It could be you,
right,
my homie Ty, my homie Sean, my homie Delt, my brother, whomever.
Right.
They all gonna tell me something different. I could text my homie Tone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, bro, I watch y'all, John, but this is how I feel about it.
Right.
And I take bits and pieces. I might call Terry, I might call Jerry, I might call Craig. Whoever I feel like I can talk to that day, because I still be reaching. I'm reaching out, and I still at 53. I'm searching, but I don't know what I'm searching for, as far as where I need to go to keep my sanity.
Right.
Because again, I'm gonna go back. These last couple years have been hard.
Right.
Especially for the people that I'm involved with. I know, like, we talk about, you lost your cousin, I lost my cousin. And then my mother-in-law passed away.
R.I.P.
We dealing with Cello.
Mm-hmm. R.I.P.
My cousin Punkin died right after my mother-in-law.
R.I.P.
And then what we going through now, and it's so much, and you try not to keep everything bottled up, because I know bottling up is not good. Especially, I heard you say you was a counselor for 12 years and I was a counselor for 10. So we dealt with the same type of individuals, but it's different when it's on your body.
Right.
When it's on your body, it's a different feeling. And I gotta go back, bro. Like, we having this conversation now, and I still don't feel right. Like, my head ain't right, my body ain't right. Like, I feel unbalanced.
Well, I would strongly suggest you go get you some help. I mean, we can't identify these things as problems and not address them. Jerry Metacom said the main thing is, and we're gonna dive into this because I like this comment. I agree and disagree. The main thing is, these things we are speaking about has to start at home with parenting. And the problems nowadays are parents being friends with their children and not disciplining, right? So I want to break that comment down. The reason why I want to break that comment down is because I speak on the No Child Left Behind Act, right? So when we talk about some of these parents today, like, I want to say about 18 years ago is when the No Child Left. So we're dealing with people who went through an education system where there was pretty much no curriculum. Everybody got passed no matter what the GPA was. So you think some of us were taught discipline. Some of us had teachers who cared. Some of us went through those parenting programs. But I see a lot of people just will blame the parents. And I'm not saying that it's not the parents' fault, because they need to take accountability as well. But we also need to realize that the public school system failed 2, maybe 3 generations of people with the changes in the rules, with the changes in the curriculum and stuff like that. And then it's just like, oh, let's blame the parents. Let's blame the parents. And a lot of people don't want to understand the fact that a lot of parents aren't educated on how to live life, how to have basic life skills. A lot of parents right now are still trying to figure out how they can find themselves, because they are dealing with some stressors, they are dealing with some trauma and stuff like that. But it's very easy to just blame the parents. I grew up in a community to where we had a village. Right. You know what I mean? What my mom couldn't do, the neighbors might have helped with and stuff like that. So again, a lot of people feel like they are afraid to talk to kids, or, oh, it's the parents' fault. And I get it. I understand all of that. But we also have to realize and understand that there are people who lack knowledge, who lack education, who lack skills. And just because you lack those things does not mean that you cannot reproduce. You know what I mean? So a lot of us, our parents treat us like friends. And then a lot of us are like, I'm not going to do my kids how my parent does me. So then we're a little bit more lenient. And then our kids start having kids and they're doing the same thing. So we've gotten to the point to where, because we lack education, because we lack guidance, mentorship, and leadership, like, a lot of us as parents are, myself included, I'm going through something right now with my children. A lot of us as parents have a difficult time dealing with our children, and we need help from other people in the community or support from other programs and resources and stuff like that. But then we'll have people say, oh, it's the parents' fault, discipline the parents. And it's more or less like, well, how do you help me?
Right.
You know what I mean? What's your thoughts on that? Because then after that, Craig left a comment too, and we're gonna go on that one.
That I've been a father for my oldest is 35. Might be older. I got so many I can't keep counting the ages of my grandkids. So, but I'm still learning how to be a dad. I still go through. I got situations that I'm going through, and I struggle with a lot of stuff.
Right.
Like I'm not a complete person.
Right.
Like I'm far from complete. I wish I was complete. And I'm not afraid to admit that I'm not a complete person because I'm not. But I know right from wrong. Regardless of what I'm going through, I still know right from wrong.
Right.
And I've always tried to raise my kids different than how I was raised.
Right. And,
you know what I mean?
And that passes generation.
Yeah.
So even when you feel like you did the best for your kids, there are things that you did that they like, my kids are not gonna experience that.
Right.
And then the next level, but it's like some of those things were necessary.
Yeah.
Some of those things were needed. And it's just like, mom was tripping, so I ain't gonna treat my kids like that.
Right.
And then it's too late because now our kids is just doing anything. And it's like, mom wasn't tripping. But let me go to Craig comment because this was very important too. He said, having father mentorship is one thing, but let's be real. Many of us black men were raised by black women, including me. It's hard. Let's also try to develop groups or organizations that uplift our black women who have kids. How can we help them help their kids so that there is more structure in the home? We have to try to help change our children's future. I agree with that as well. I know there's actually an Erie Moms group.
Wow.
So there are some women groups and there are some women-led organizations to where they work on some of these things. The reason why I'm speaking to men specifically is because I don't believe that a lot of men understand what Craig just said.
Man,
my mom raised me. You know what I mean? My granddad was a father figure in my life. You know, there was men in my life that were father figures, but absolutely, this is the work of a woman.
Look, my mom raised me, but my grandmother raised me. I've never only lived with three women: my wife, my mom, and my grandmother.
Right.
And like we've had this conversation, and I ain't gonna knock my dad. I love him to death, but I didn't live with my dad. I didn't grow up with my dad.
Right.
I didn't get that knowledge from my dad. I got that knowledge from my mom.
Absolutely.
My grandmother.
Yep.
And the streets. Again, I grew up 22nd and German, cocaine era. So all the OGs was teaching us, but they was hustlers.
Right.
So you had two options: be a hustler or fall back and get your education.
Mm-hmm.
I chose the middle. I wanted to hustle,
right,
but I didn't want to go to jail. So
listen,
I just was cool with, like, you know, me and my man OB, we get us a $100 double up, flip it, go get us something out tomorrow, and get us our beer for the weekend. We cool.
Right.
I wasn't out there trying to be
Don't
Nino Brown.
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't me.
Yeah.
I just wanted to, like, okay, I'm gonna take this little chance. I'm gonna walk from 22nd to 17th Street,
right,
and work my way back up. If I sell at least these little 5 rocks, I'm gonna sell these 5 rocks.
Right. Yeah.
That's how I grew up. You know what I mean? I didn't have the male figure like Craig is talking about.
Mm-hmm.
The male figures in my life were my friends, because we all clung together. You know, I grew up with the Hard Rocks, the Sunnies,
right,
the 40 OZs,
right.
You know, OB. Like, his mom was like my mom.
Okay.
I could go to OB house and be pissy drunk.
Right.
He ain't there. But Lane gonna open that door and let me go in his room and pass out and wake up and walk back up the street in the morning. That's how I grew up. Like, that's how I know Terry and Jerry and Roe, Scrap, JP, Snowy, Kia. All of them we all from that block.
Right.
So we talk about the police. We policed ourselves back then. Everybody didn't make it with a clear head. I made it with a clear head. You know what I mean? So I will say I'm blessed for that. But to go back what Craig said, I didn't have a strong male presence in my life growing up. Like it was me and my brother and my sister, and we was trying to make ends meet like that.
I think we all grew up that way, especially when we introduced the food stamps and stuff like that, and the HUD, and all of those different things. Again, I know a lot of people who watching this who may not understand feel like, oh, here they go again blaming the system, but there were systemic situations and the systematic issues that took place in our communities that kind of molded us this way. And it's interesting that he said that, Craig said that, right? Because when you talk about that, he's saving Black women, like me running the street, like you said, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, going to get education. Calling myself running the streets hustling, like it was a Black woman, Snowy. Like, yo, this young boy go to school.
What'd she tell you?
This ain't, y'all ruin your life. I ruin your life. These streets ain't for you. Get out of here. Like, this ain't for you. You know what I mean? And it was a Black woman who said that to me. But again, when we think about some of the Black men in our community, growing up, like it was a point in time where they'd be like, just go play sports and all of that when you were younger.
Yeah.
When you got to that high school, junior, senior year, some of them old heads was trying to put that pack in your hand.
Yeah.
Some of them old heads was trying to, okay, this is how you come up, this is how you get right. But then there were women like, be all you can be and don't do that and don't go that route. So I definitely would agree with what Craig said as far as like us as men stepping up for the women who lack the male leadership in their lives. And I know Day, shout out to Sammy Sosa. I think his name is Sammy Sosa on Facebook, but he was doing like a mentorship program, or he was just trying to get some young people together. Aunt McGowan is out there doing the boys to men thing.
Yeah.
So I'm not exactly sure. All of the organizations that are working with like grassroots, working with young men. I know Mr. T has this thing with Career and Dreams. That's for young men and for young ladies. But again, like we need more people to be doing those things and to be getting more involved because, like you said, and like I said, we were raised by women. Women led us, women guided us, and a woman. Again, my grandfather played a major role in my life. Coach DePaula was in my life for certain periods of time. My dad has always been around, but this is Jackie Lindsay. Yeah, I mean, right here, like built and raised and fed and bred and all of that stuff. So yeah, absolutely, I would agree to that. We need to figure out how we can be more supportive of these women who are going through rough times. Not to change the subject, Malk was a tough point guard too. LOL Centaurs. No such thing as a perfect parent. We all must refuse to stop learning from the cradle to the grave. Yeah, so like again, when we talk about these subjects and we talk about parenting and things like that, like I said, I'm having a rough time myself, but I know that I will get through it. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's like working on the relationships with the mothers of my children is going to play a major role, as well as having those conversations with my children. But I will say, like, I need other men. You know what I mean? To support me, to help me. I mean, have those conversations and to not always tell me, you right, she tripping. You got to, like, I need people like, hey, bro, no, you got to, because I having a conversation with my bro the other day when we was talking about my daughter. He literally told me, like, yeah, no, you can't go out that way.
Right.
This is, you got to do more. You got to go harder. And those are the type of conversations that I need. And I also know that, like, other men need those type of conversations, but it's like men have a difficult time stepping to other men. I'm gonna let you talk to people. I gotta step off for a second, but like men have a difficult time talking to other men when it comes to being a man. What's your thoughts on that? I'm gonna be right back.
Look, being where we at right now is challenging because you do get those points where you are struggling and your woman might say you ain't shit. How do you accept that? How do you accept that? I mean, we all got to keep pushing. We all got to keep doing what we're doing. It's hard for all of us right now, but that don't mean you stop. See, Wood, you did not dunk on me, player. I never got dunked on. But ask Chief who beat Mercier's Prep at the buzzer. Malcolm Bulliam and the Tech Centaurs. No, but to get back on topic, and I'm just elaborate on how I'm feeling right now. And when I'm talking about Snowy, I can't emphasize enough how much of a loss she is to our community, to her fight with us for justice for Cello. Y'all know that's her cousin, but she treated him as a brother. So we got to keep repping and stepping until we get that justice served, and it's always going to be rest in peace for Snowy in my eyes and everybody out there's eyes. Bro is back, so we going to get back into our conversation and keep it moving.
Yeah, no, I just seen something too. They was talking about the violence in Erie. The Erie police is they talking about is it gangs in Erie and the crime is went down, but now it's going up and all of that stuff. And again, like we got a lot of different issues and we got a lot of different problems going on in the city of Erie. We still waiting to hear back from the investigation where.
How do you feel about that?
The police. What do you mean we say feel about it? Feel about what?
Do you think the investigation is too long?
Yeah, they should have been fired the next day. My opinion.
My opinion too.
My opinion. It should have been fired the next day. I'm not exactly sure who's investigating or why it takes the investigation this long. You wear a body cam, right to know, I believe, with 5 days, if not 5, then 30 days. But then we talking about the mayor. The mayor, you know, she oversees the police.
Right.
You know what I mean? I know the police have a union, so I'm pretty sure that would be the fight of the issue. But as far as this long to like investigate what?
Right. What I seen was a fireable offense.
Investigate what? Even again, like I said, even if the car thing, even if the taser thing, like he was on the ground with his, he's beating him up.
Right.
He's getting jumped.
Crazy.
He's getting jumped.
And
then like if it would have been a regular civilian hit somebody on the car, it'd have been an investigation, lock them up. Because we still are seeing people getting handcuffed and arrested for petty things. Yeah. You know, we seeing people getting arrested for things that aren't as big of a deal as what that police officer did. But again, I'm not sure if he's working. I'm not sure if he's not working. In my opinion, he should not have a job.
And I agree. And I believe he is still working. And one of my biggest things is like, wait a minute. We are grown men. We are grown men. Kevin is a grown man. And to have 2 20-something-year-olds do him like that, like he ain't a grown man, I got a problem with that.
Yeah, man.
I have a problem with that because one thing that you said last week was what happened if he would have retaliated?
Yeah, if he'd have squirmed too much, they'd have killed him.
Yes.
They'd have killed him.
And he's a grown man defending himself. So you mean to tell me that we have to let these grown men manhandle us, disrespect us, and we ain't supposed to retaliate back as if because they got on a badge and a uniform?
Comply or die.
Ain't that's man, look.
Comply or die.
I have a problem with that.
Yes, comply or die.
I have a problem with that, bro.
Okay, so then what do we do about that? Like, how do we start addressing the police? Because this is what I will say, right? Now, I wasn't there for the protest, but I know it was, some people having a protest out there at Perry Square. And it was like, okay, well, this day, this time, again, I was going to the protest. I was never a protest organizer, but I never understood what was the point of giving the people you were protesting the drop on that you're coming, what time you're going to be there, and then trying to get people to come. And then why are we waiting for a certain day if the police station is 24/7?
Right.
Again, I was out there protesting on the strength of, for cello and stuff like that. I wasn't organizing a protest.
Right.
I would pop in and pop out, making the rounds around the neighborhood and stuff like that. But it's like, what's the holdup? Why do we need to be so organized? And then when I say organized, I mean like publicly organized on social media. Why not just go down there? And then if you go down there by yourself, why wait for everybody else?
I feel you. And that, what I learned over the course of this year is, do protests work? They absolutely do.
Yeah.
But it's a time and a place for certain protests.
I think they would always work. I just think it's the strategy. I think because it got to the point to where we was protesting so much for cello, then it was like you got the Bridge Brigade, they were doing their thing. So it's like, okay, let's make this a thing. Let's follow suit. But it's like, okay, well then just do it.
Right.
Because like I seen the video you shared of Marquell Bridges and them, like
they outside.
I'm pretty sure that wasn't like they had connections with the people who were willing to do that. And everybody has an issue on social media, but when it comes time to actually do some work, it's only a select few of people. So it's like, why are we steady trying to corral people and we can just one person can protest?
Right. And my you know what? My thing with that, seeing that whole situation, it should have been noise should never stop about that. Not from our community. It shouldn't just be a me or you or Terry or Jerry or whoever else might want to share that video. That video should be shared every day, every morning.
I didn't share it. You talking about with the police officer?
Yeah, I shared it.
Yeah, I don't get into that.
Like, but that's my thing.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it should be some type of awareness that this is going on in your community. Like
Right.
that ain't the first time that somebody got hit by one of these police cars.
Right. Somebody actually died.
Yeah. Like he got lucky not to hit his head. Not to like they could have broke both his legs, or they could have. It's so many things that could have happened with that. And for them officers or that officer to continue to still be working and not have so much of an outrage about this, I guarantee he's sitting back like, yo, ain't nothing about to happen to me.
It kind of make you feel like we don't matter, right?
That's it. Absolutely.
Yeah, it kind of make you feel like we don't matter when the police can just hit people with cars and tase them and beat them up and then like still go back to work.
Yeah.
Like, this is the thing too. If you sexually harass somebody at work, you can get fired quicker than you can. You know what I mean? Like the police, if they sexually harass another officer, they're gonna lose their job or it's gonna get some check or something like that. But you hit a black man with a car, it's, you know,
right? Because I have 150% saying that nothing's going to happen to him. He's going to be exonerated, and that's going to be illegal. That's legal. That's a legal tactic.
Right.
That's what I see.
Right.
But at the same time, when we talk about these things, we have to go down. The only way that this is going to stop, we have to start understanding policy. Making change to policy is important, and it takes voices.
Right. So this is when you say that, we need candidates.
Yeah.
We need candidates to run because we can say all of these things, but like if none of us from our community are stepping up to run, and then we're not having voter registration drives, and we're not getting people registered to vote, and we're not, you know, and the candidates aren't coming out, like we're going to continue to go through these things, and then we're crying at city council. And what I will say from the city council meeting last night is literally starting to seem like, it's unfortunate, but city council's a joke. You know what I mean? Like I'm watching, I'm at the meeting, right?
Right.
So at the beginning of the meeting, now, you know, Ed had already took all that heat. Beginning of the meeting, now Ed's out there, oh yeah, we're going to introduce the Mercyhurst prep team, and then we're going to introduce Cliff Crosby. It was more or less like, let me get my rocks off. Let me show everybody how good I am. Let me parade Cliff up here on the stage and have Cliff meet all the football players. And then let me have Cliff come up here, and Cliff's going to say some good things about me. And then after that happened, he was going, right?
Right.
But I don't think a lot of people realize that when they had it advertised on the screens. I was watching him the whole time.
I seen him too.
I seen him in like 3 or 4 different locations.
Bro, he was outside
chilling. It looked like he muted his phone. It looked like he was talking to somebody, he ordered something like, and then he went to his house, and I believe like when some people were addressing him, it was somebody who maybe looked a little, they was all laughing in the background, and like everybody's seeing this. And you could see Tyler's face. Like Tyler looked so disgusted. Like last night, I've never, ever, ever seen Tyler look as defeated as they did last night.
Hey, bro. He sat in his recliner and he
listen.
Sat
that's
back.
Another thing, man. When I spoke, he sat back in his recliner and he turned. It was a lamp right next to him. Like he wanted us to see him. You know what I mean? His family was in there, so then it's just like that's why I said what I said. Like this is a reflection of you all.
Absolutely,
this is a reflection of you all. When you have somebody who can make the comments that he made, and then even like when the news reporter came down there, you know what I mean? Like, and then another thing that I didn't like was when the lady in the wheelchair came up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Andre, like this ain't the place for that. You know, we don't do that. We wouldn't do it. It's like she said that, and she said, "I'm looking for support." Yeah. So now it's getting to the point now to where it's like they're not going to respect what we're saying, and now it's we can only talk about certain things, or we're going to get ignored, and people want to hear what we got to say, or we're going to be getting directed to, okay, we'll go to a county council meeting, go to a school. That's why I said if I want to stand up here and sing "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star" for 5 minutes. That's what I'm going to do. And then also, if you're going to respond to one person, and that's why they don't, you open the door to respond to everybody. Yes. You know what I mean? So last night, city council, and then I even stayed after the public comment when they were doing the votes and stuff like that. They calling on Ed to vote. He can't unmute his phone or he can't turn his picture on. I'm like, yo, I literally sat and watched this man sit and play with his phone during meetings, right? Right. Now, all of a sudden, you at home, and now you can't work the phone and all of that, and we're voting on stuff, and this is an elected official, probably the oldest elected official that's sitting up there. Right. It's a joke now. City council is turning into a joke, and it's like, how can you take them seriously?
Can I ask you a question? Because you know more than me about this. How is he allowed to stay away from those main meetings? He hasn't been to a main meeting since they came down there and ripped him apart.
I wasn't going to ask that question because Dr. Titus said it would take up the time. I did hear them explain something at the end of the meeting because when I left, I was watching it online. But yeah, it's getting to the point now to where it's like, can you take that seriously?
Yeah.
Like, can we take them seriously? At one point in time, I felt like we had some support or people were listening to us, but now it just kind of seems like there's dissension amongst our city council people right now.
Absolutely.
You can tell who's on the same page, who's not on the same page, and it's like, I don't care how disrupted they are a reflection of our city, of the infrastructure of our cities. And if they can't come out there and put their game face on and treat us respectfully,
right,
and treat us like we deserve to be treated, like, should we really be taking them seriously? It's
right.
kind of like we have no choice because they create the infrastructure, and then we have our mayor. I believe the mayor does take us seriously, regardless of what I said to her. When I have a great relationship with Daria,
absolutely.
You know what I mean? So, but then it's like, this is the team of people who are supposed to be helping her, and it's like they ain't on the same page.
Right.
And you picking up a mess from the last administration, and then that's another thing too. A lot of people just try to blame everything on Schimber, not realizing that the city council also had to vote for things.
Right.
So as the city council people are voting on things, they're voting on stuff that they don't even know what it is. And it's just like, this is what we always did.
Right.
So when you think about that, the people who were there when Schimber was there was Mo Troop, Jasmine Flores,
Yes.
Kathy Schaaf,
Yeah.
Ed Brzezinski, Dr. Tyler Titus, and the only person who didn't come back was Chuck.
Right.
So outside of that, the city council also plays a role in the $12 million deficit that the city is in. But the mayor is catching a lot of heat. And then now, as we're seeing with Andre sitting up there and some of the information that he's explaining, you can see the look on some of the other city council members' face. Like, oh my God, I didn't know that was a thing. Or I didn't know that's what we were supposed to do. Or now it's getting to the point to where I don't believe everybody who's up there knows their job. And the newest people are Marilyn Poe and Andre Horton.
Right.
So it's like, if you on your second term, how do you not know what the expectations of you are as a city council person?
Right.
And because Andre came in there brand new from county council, which is home rule charter, city council is city at large, and he in there teaching Jasmine, he in there teaching Mo, he in there teaching Kathy, he in there teaching Ed. You know what I mean? So it's like, like, how serious can we take our city council?
And you know what? I don't think they'd be really prepared for some of these people that's coming down to the speak.
You don't?
Like, because now you don't just have black and white.
Oh, yeah.
You have a mixture of, this is a gumbo city. One thing about Erie, it's a lot of different personalities in this city. And they are coming down there speaking.
Right.
I think some of them get tired. Their ears get tired, and they just be ready to say, man, I wish y'all hurry up and they can move out the way. We need to pass this budget or
right. And that's what I don't like too, right? Is because then it's like, okay, y'all coming down here, y'all wasting up all of this time when there are more important issues to address. But here's the thing: public comment is public comment.
Right.
So if you gotta sit there for 3, 4, 5 hours and then get back to business, it don't matter. You got to deal with all of that. You got to listen to all of that. You shouldn't be trying to tell people, oh, well, when y'all come down here with all these distractions, it keeps us off of what we really need to be addressing or getting. No, y'all have a caucus meeting. So y'all can address that. This is your job as an elected official. There are committee meetings, finance meetings, or behind closed doors when y'all have meetings where it's not a quorum. Like, that's when you do that work. But you should never, ever discourage people from coming to give a public comment because you feel like it's taking too much time.
Right.
And this is another thing. The council meetings never went this long until we start going down.
Right.
Because I've been going there for years, and it's been times where it's 3. Fred Tepper, probably the only person that's there. Other than that, they go quick. So they're not used to people coming down there. So now it's like, oh, why they coming down here? We gonna ignore them, or they shouldn't be saying this, or they shouldn't be like, no.
Right.
If I want to come down and do the robot,
right,
for 5 minutes, as long as I ain't cursing nobody. You heard what Dr. Titus said. As long as you're not addressing anybody individually. So if that's the case, don't be upset. And that's why I said what I said, that one day I hope we can get 100 people to come down here and take the whole 5 minutes, 500 minutes.
And you know what's crazy? You asked, or I don't know if it was you, somebody asked if he was censured.
Yeah, and they said no.
And he's not.
He's not.
So why is he not sitting up there?
I don't know what that means, bro.
I've been down there and I've seen people give it to Mo. I've seen people give it to Jasmine. I've seen people give it to Dre. And guess what? They come back them next weeks.
Yeah.
Dr. Titus came back and sat in that seat after being embarrassed.
Yeah.
So why is he not sitting in that seat? If he claimed he's a man, he's a man's man.
You're right.
He's a man's man.
You're right.
Why is he not sitting in that seat and taking the brunt of that?
I don't know, because I know Jasmine Flores did.
Yeah.
I was there for that. I was there for that. They came down there and they was gunning for that lady, and she was. I ain't gonna say she took it well because she was her body language and her facial expression. She was definitely bothered,
Right?
But she gave
She
those
sat
people
there.
the opportunity to address her,
Right.
and then when it was finished, she went on with business.
Look,
I'm
and
so-
then my thing is, it's not about him per se, but he has a lot of people that like him. So why don't y'all come down there and speak on his behalf so I
Dang,
can
fool.
hear?
Somebody in my inbox was just saying like, I like Ed, like, I respect Ed. I said I don't disrespect Ed. I
Right.
didn't say I respect him, but I didn't say I don't disrespect Ed. And then I said like, okay, well then you must be cool with sexual harassment
Yeah.
of news reporters.
Well, and then come down there and tell me why I should support Ed and overlook what he did.
Cliff did. Cliff did.
Talk about it.
I'm just saying he did. Like, and that was,
Yeah.
he did. He went up there and was like, Ed's a good dude, Dr. Titus, and it was a mishap or whatever the case may be. And he was like, I thought he was black.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
That was my whoa moment.
I truly want to know, like, I would love to know what that means. I don't know if that meant like he was a cool dude, if he had an Italian tan.
Mhm.
I'm not sure how anybody can confuse Ed Brzezinski with being a black man.
Look, that took me off guard because what I've seen from Ed these past couple weeks, well, I mean, we can take it back to months.
Man,
I
can go back years.
I don't see anything black.
I can go back years.
He's not black, so you can't
He's not black at all.
confuse that. I mean, this is the plight of the black man.
No, legitimately,
Yeah,
bro. And I know a lot of
yes.
people don't like it. Like we keep it all the way 100. Like it's like all right. So this is what Ed did, and like me personally, and again, this is no knock to Cliff.
No.
He like come up here. I'm sure the baseball players will want to meet you.
Right.
Okay, let me call my black friend up here.
Right.
So then he come up there, boom, he go up there, he shake everybody's hand. Then it's like, okay, Cliff, you about to get an award. You want to talk? Cliff do his thing. He spoke and he said what he had to say. And it literally, like, I took offense to Ed using Cliff to try to grandstand on us. And I'm not sure what relationship Cliff has with Ed's because he seemed like he was appreciative of the opportunity. But I think that was a huge, huge fumble.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. I think that was a huge fumble. I understand Cliff's intention behind it.
Yes.
But I also believe that I understand Ed's intention behind it. He was trying to tokenize Cliff because of who Cliff is, because of his accomplishments.
Right.
NFL superstar, NFL Super Bowl champion. He's a national motivational speaker. He's been going around. He's doing his thing down there in the DMV area. He's also having a camp up here this week. So I think Ed was like, oh, I'm going to pull. And this is what they say, right? You're one of the good ones.
Right.
That's what white people say, or that's what racist people say when they feel, okay, how can I get him off my back? So, boom, you're one of the good ones. Let's get him in here. But this is the crazy thing. How can you call a man to the stage to say, hey, we're going to recognize you, but not recognize the fact that the police tried to kill his brother?
Yeah.
Like imagine being Sister Peggy or Miss Peggy.
Yeah.
And that's my family. Yep. Imagine being Miss Peggy and being like, hold on. The same city that tried to kill my son, is recognizing my other son. Do y'all love us or do y'all hate us?
This is why I know what this comeback is going to be.
Listen,
like this was the setup, bro. This was the setup before we let y'all down.
Right,
we finna get let down. So I want y'all to understand when they come back. And they say there will be no charges pressed on that officer for hitting Kevin. This is what they wanted y'all to see. They wanted y'all, okay, we gonna give out some awards. This is his bro.
Yeah.
We gonna make y'all forget about his bro because it's football camp. This like, no.
Right, bro.
Let's make sure that y'all understand that
this is another thing too, right? Because I know Cliff is in a tough spot right now.
Absolutely.
The reason why I say that is because the Police Athletic League is like one of the main sponsors of his event, right?
Right.
So it's like, dang, because he said it. Like I was gonna cancel the event, but I'm like, no, I gotta see it through. He said I'm a finisher. I don't, always finish it,
Right.
So I gotta see it through. So now it's like, and I've worked with Powell, and I will continue to work with Powell. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's like the police ain't trying to take my brother out, and there's no explanation because had that been my brother, I'd have had some.
Right.
I would have wanted some questions answered, especially if y'all sponsor my event. I might have been like, whoa, let's talk about this. Like, let's have a conversation. And I don't know if he did. He said he do a lot of stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of man-to-man talk. So again, this is no knock at him. I don't think he understood how he was used, how they played in his face, or how they use him to play in our face. And I'm glad that he said Deontay's a smart dude. You give him a book, he'll recite it the next day, because that's what I saw. I saw them playing in our face, and I don't even think that he realized it. And I was just sitting there like, wow, man, I can't believe this is happening, right? And then I ain't gonna hold you. I was expecting him to be like, and since we up here, and since the police, you know what I mean? Like, I got some concerns because our community is going down, and my brother was just recently hit by a police officer. So that type of stuff didn't come out. And again, this is all public record. So this is not about an attack on anybody. This is an observation of what we saw last night. And I know for a fact that my mom would have a problem if she seen me go receive an award and then her other son be beaten or hit by the police. And it's like, dang, Arnie, you ain't saying nothing. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like, that's how I feel about that whole situation. I know it's unfair, and I always say the unfavorable thing.
It don't matter. It's uncomfortable, but it ain't uncomfortable because at the end of the day, like, Kevin is a black man. We seen him get mauled over by the police in a car with they got the bumper in the front of the vehicle.
Tased.
Like, they trying to tell us the car slowed down and this is justified and all of this, and he should be able to take 3 blows to the ribs and take the knees. And look, all I know is, for me, Malcolm Pulliam, if that happened to any one of my peoples, if I'm in a position of power, I can't let that go down. I got to use my resources.
And again, he did say he's doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes, everything in the forefront, art of war, and all of that. But me, myself, personally, if you put me on the stage like that, I'm addressing it. And I think, again, when we talk about the system and how they play with us, I know that was an uncomfortable situation or position for him to be in, because he was saying Ed was his teacher. You know, he raised up. And then him and Mo, they had a history of playing, you know, and then Andre Horton up there. And, you know, we all respect Andre, but you already know how I get down. I'm the type of person where, like, sometimes I'm going to say the unfavorable thing. I'm learning how to articulate those things, or even behind the scenes. I'm curious to know if there was a conversation and if we could get some type of information, because we still haven't heard much of anything. And we going to keep, you know, doing what we got to do for our community and for our people. But we also need for it to be other people, not just us. And we need it to be people who have those resources and who have access to things. And this is a conversation that I've said before, like when we had our little back and forth. So, I mean, that's just how I feel.
You gotta have this conversation. Listen, I mean, we was there.
I'm gonna talk about it.
We was there. We seen it. We talked about it. I didn't understand it. Facts is facts. And at the end of the day, like, Ed can't get that pass. Bro, he can't get that pass like that.
No.
He got an alley. He got an alley-oop.
For anybody who heard that and thought, okay, Ed, one of us, the black community accepts Ed, and the black community thought that Ed Brzezinski was black. I don't think like that. Ed has never had any impact on. And again, Cliff is older than me. I'm 40 years old.
Right.
I didn't go to East. I went to Central. Ed Brzezinski has never had an impact on me. He's made smart remarks since I've been coming down there. I've been going down there for years. I've never seen this man do anything pleasant. I'm not saying he's never done anything pleasant, but I have no relationship with that man or no history of seeing him do anything good. So I would never, ever, nobody would be able to come to me and be like, Deontay, chill. It's a good one.
Right.
He don't mean that. No, he got to prove that for himself.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Ain't nobody, there's nobody who can speak loud enough to make me feel like Ed Brzezinski's a great guy.
I've never had an interaction with him. And I'm like you, I see that he had to go way back into the district of teaching and coaching and doing everything that he's been doing. And I'm sure he's probably ran into some of my Pulliam family at East because they went over there to East. But again, I was coached by Johnny Johnson.
Right.
Mr. Harper.
Right.
Mr. Collins.
Right.
I ain't had that problem.
Yeah, man.
So when I say y'all was black, they was black.
Listen, bro, because this is another thing that I like, and a lot of people don't notice, right? So when the Mercyhurst prep team, the baseball team, was there to receive their recognition,
right?
Joe Hawes was in the crowd, the president of the school. Ed could, another white man from a predominantly white institution. Ed could have been like, we got the school president up here. Mr. Hawes, do you want to pass these out? And then maybe Cliff, you can meet him in the back and take a, no, he didn't. He didn't call Mr. Hawes. He didn't call, I think Tom Perfetto was there. He's a athletic director up there.
Right.
Perfetto was there. He was sitting in the crowd. They didn't say, Mr. Perfetto, you want to come up here, or none of that. It was like, hey, there's a black guy, a superstar, Super Bowl champion. He from Erie, he set all of these records. Maybe, and this is just me thinking, I could be wrong.
Right.
Maybe if I get the black guy who's from the neighborhood, who struggled and made it to success, to stand next to me, then maybe the black community will take it easy on me a little bit. And then if I can get him to say some nice things about me, then maybe people will understand. That shit did not work with me. And for anybody who felt like, okay, we can take it easy, I hope it didn't work for you either. So if you seen that, I seen Mo True post to Joan like, oh yeah, Cliff got his flowers and all of that. Yeah, absolutely. We want Cliff to get his flowers, because he deserves his flowers.
Absolutely.
Like, he's part of a fraternity. You know what I mean? NFL, it's 1%. Everybody don't make it to the NFL. And then he got a Super Bowl ring.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then he's still part of the Players Association. He's doing this thing in the DMV. And he's been coming back here and running this football camp for years. I think this is year 16 or 17. So yes. Clifton Crosby definitely deserves his flowers, because we all know the neighborhood he came from. Yeah. We all know the family he came from. We all know what he stands for and what he represents. I did not like the fact that Ed Brzezinski used him, pulled him up there to play with him. And then you could tell Cliff was uncomfortable because he didn't want to say no. Right. But he didn't look like he wanted to go up there and do it.
Right. And I will second that. Yeah. Again, like, Cliff, I know Cliff as Steph. Yeah. That's my cousin Keith, rest in peace. That's they dogs. Right. From rooter to the tutor. So, I got a good history with Steph, and I know he felt uncomfortable. He looked uncomfortable.
He definitely did.
Yeah.
He definitely did. Because I watched the speech over and I'm like,
yeah. I mean, and to go back, Ed's problem is with the LGBTQ people that are coming down there. They want his head.
They didn't come as deep as they did last time.
No, but it's still the point. It was over 10 of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was over 10.
Yeah, they want him to get out of there.
They want him gone. So I hate that the mix-up is the way it is, because I believe that once you go there and the first meeting, what we say, 60, 70 people there?
58 people spoke.
58 people spoke about getting him out of there.
Right.
My issue with that is I'm a strong proponent of our black people.
Right.
I'm a strong proponent of getting justice for Cello.
Right.
I'm a strong proponent of, if I speak on this mic, you coming behind me to support me.
Right.
And say, yo, let's go. 58 people for that. Maybe 10 people for us.
Right.
But then 58 people for them, it was 20 people speaking that was Cello supporters.
Right.
They mixed the crowd.
Right.
I have a problem with them not reciprocating the love to my community.
Mm-hmm.
And we was talking about Juneteenth.
Right.
We was talking about Black history. We're talking about everything that goes on with Juneteenth. They mix Juneteenth and Pride together.
Mm-hmm.
So why y'all not stepping for us?
So I mean, I don't feel the same way.
We ain't supposed to agree.
Right, and I see Jerry in the comments too, because then when you think about Juneteenth and you say Pride, like, there are gay black people. Right. There are queer black people. So we can't make it seem like Juneteenth needs to be exclusive to straight black people.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when we say, oh, well, Juneteenth is in June and Pride Month is, like, we can't exclude race from,
right.
You know what I mean? Sexual orientation.
And I might have said it wrong.
No, I seen, but I know you did. I seen that on the social media. You seen people like, oh, we get the short end of the stick. It's men's mental health awareness month. Right. Father's Day is this month. Juneteenth is this month, and then it's also Pride Month. Like, oh, fucking well. It's my take on it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh well to me, because like I used to be one of those people who would be just ignorant to the concept. But it's like, if they aren't coming down there for us, right, they don't have to come. But then on the flip side, how many people went down there and said, Ed, you're wrong, and I'm standing or I'm stepping for the LGBTQ plus community? So again, like I hate when we get to the point to where we try to
Somebody say, hey,
put LGBTQ against black movements and stuff like that, and try to not recognize that we're all struggling people. And I feel like when there are issues amongst that community, there was a woman who came to the mic and she said,
yes,
that. And we need to lead that up to
I
them.
don't know
because,
who she is.
You know, imagine a white woman coming to you and saying, hey, Mr. Black man who sold justice for Cello, why you ain't come over here and step for LGBTQ? You would take offense to that. If a white person told you need to be rocking for the LGBTQ,
look,
right?
I can't say that because
you literally just said they shouldn't be.
No, we gonna backtrack that.
Okay.
Bro.
So let me ask you this: when
let me get my spot off.
If you saying we're gonna backtrack it, let me ask you a question, right? Because if you feel like
here he go, y'all.
Yeah, no, because this is an issue that we have, and we split people apart, right? If you like, when have you ever went and spoke up for somebody from that community to feel like they should have came and spoke for us for Cello?
I have.
I'm asking you when. I'm not asking if you have. You ever?
I have.
When?
All the time.
I'm asking when.
Bro, I've worked with people from Gadengia when I did.
No. This is free.
No,
you can't be using your job as an excuse, bro.
No, this ain't no job.
You said working at Gadengia.
You can't stop me with this one.
Bro, you asking people to do free service and comparing your work to it.
No. I feel what you saying, but I'm speaking for me.
Right.
You can't tell me about me.
You're right, I can't. But
you
want somebody to do a free service for you.
No.
You saying that.
You ain't gonna let me talk now. Bro, I can't get mine off.
You compare it to work.
This ain't work. If you would have let me break it down of how I met these people.
Okay.
I met these people from working at Gadengia.
Okay.
When I did outreach, our outreach was based on going to the zone and doing everything we was doing with the condoms and giving them out and all of that.
Right.
So I've built relationships with a lot of people.
Right.
That not only did when I was teaching HIV and AIDS and doing all of that, the relationships built, and I was able to go out into their community.
Right.
And I'd be at drag shows, bro, feeling uncomfortable.
Right.
But I stuck it out and I got to understand that community.
Right.
So I've never had a problem with going out. I remember taking my son. We took him to the beach. They had a big Joan going on out there. He uncomfortable. He's small.
Right.
But I broke him down like, yo,
right.
We are the same. That they are people, we are people. If you don't have a problem being around them, they're not gonna do anything to you,
bro. But you're fine. You didn't answer my question. But this is what you did. So you said you created a relationship with some of the people from this community through work.
Yeah.
And then you said you went to the beach and you explained to your son, right?
Right.
But you also said, why didn't they come to the city council meeting for us like they were for them? So hold on, because again, this is work related. City council is free. And then I asked you, when was the time where you stepped for them? Like you asking them to step for you, and you said I did. I'm actually winning. You still haven't given me the time.
I'm like, let me get my build up. See, you be trying to put me. Hold on, and then you want to always try to stop me and don't let me speak. You want to cut me off. Hold on, look, you doing it now.
You still not answering the question. You deflecting.
Y'all see how you do me, y'all?
You deflecting right now because you can't answer the question. When I asked you the question, you just gave me a whole speech, and then when you stopped, I said, "Bro, you didn't answer the question."
If I'm going to answer a question and then you stop me, you're telling me what.
But bro,
look, you about to do it now.
So you can't take the heat, bro, because when you said that, you cut me off every week.
Ain't no heat.
You cut me off every week. Every time I'm trying to make a statement, you always, this is your line. I gotta cut you off, right? So what I'm saying to you is, when I asked you the question, you compared it to work, and you said I made relationships with these people through work, right?
Absolutely.
So but the question was, when have you ever stepped? And you said I did, and I said when, and you never answered that question.
But the stepping is me going out with them. I've been to their homes. They've been in situations where they've called me and like, Malcolm, I need you to come speak to them. I've done all that. That don't have to be public, bro.
But you asking them to come to the meetings to advocate for Cello.
The reason I'm saying that is because when they came and I seen how deep they was, it just blew my mind away. Like, wait a minute.
Right.
And then I seen the few people in there like, I'm with them.
Right.
And they was with us.
Right.
So my thing was like, well, where the fuck was everybody else when we was going down here?
But
that's all I'm saying, bro.
The first meeting, we was deep. We wasn't 58 deep,
And
right?
our numbers fell
Right,
off.
that's what I'm saying. So the first meeting we was deep, right?
Right.
We was down there.
Right.
So we all went down there for a fight, for a cause.
Right.
So then when it was time to go at Ed, where was those people at?
You got a point.
So we can't ask them to step for us if we ain't doing the same thing. You know what I mean? But that's how we divide one another. We like, oh, well, you know, the LGBTQ community that came down there and did all of these things, but we don't step for them. So again, man, like I don't, and I think when that happens, it creates a divide within our communities, and it puts us as black men to where now, bro, you know how hard I had to fight to not be called a misogynist anymore.
Right.
For people. So like when we say stuff like that and we do stuff like that, it puts us back in the box to where they're only for straight black men,
right,
or strong black women.
Right.
When you try to say, well, why didn't they show up for us? Well, it's like, well, when did we show up for them? And then I'll be honest and say, there was a point in time in my life where I used to pick on people,
right?
You know what I mean? For being trans, or I used to pick on people for being gay until I understood, you know what I mean? So it's like, how am I asking for a population of people who I used to treat as less than people to step for me when somebody else is treating me less than people until I get to the point to where I can understand that.
Right.
But we get in the way of putting people against one another. So then it's like, okay, if we take away the feelings,
right,
and we ask for the proof, it's like, well, when have we stepped for them? When has straight men, straight black strong men ever say, hey, y'all not going to treat the LGBTQ plus community for this?
I've never seen that. And hey,
so how can we expect them to come down with their rainbow flag for us?
Hey, I don't want y'all out there thinking me and D we got beef and no, this is my guy. Like this is the beauty of this show.
Right.
To have a different opinion.
Right.
This is why it's called the plight of the black man.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
we feed off of each other.
It's important to have these conversations because this is how you learn and this is how you educate, you know?
Look here, bro. I ain't mad at you about what we talking about.
Look at Jared, hug and make up, fellas. Craig, hug with Rachel Titus. He appreciate it, but definitely just the beginning of this fight for a hug and make up, fellas. Jared,
we ain't got a hug. We good.
Yeah, it's all good. But yeah, no, but that was a thing that I did see, and I'm glad that we can have a conversation here to clear it up because I think that a lot of people were saying that, and then a lot of people on the other side were hearing that, and it's like, damn, what am I supposed to do?
Right.
You know what I mean? But I know that we've had conversations about, like I talk to Dr. Titus, I don't say regularly, but you know, spend some time with Dr. Titus. We've had different conversations about different initiatives, you know, and I'm friends with Angelica Spraggins, you know, Devonna and stuff like that. So like I'm connected and I'm associated. And it's been times where I've had to step up for, you know, people and this was not work related and stuff like that. So what I don't want to happen is for people to feel like we as black men are trying, because we all need everybody.
Facts.
That was the whole purpose of the intersectionality town hall, and it was great for people to come have those conversations. It was great for us to learn and for people to come out. And then at that meeting, I'm like, yo, it's some power in this joint. So, and then I learned something from Marcus. He told me, because I remember I was coming hard at the ICE people, the people who were down there for ICE. And he's like, listen, man, you got to figure out a different way to approach that. Those people can be allies for you.
Right.
And you can learn from some of those folks. So what I don't want us to do is get to the point to where we like, okay, they ain't scream for us.
Right.
Like we scream for us.
Right.
So we not finna like, yeah, no, somebody has to be the person to be like, boom, we do it.
And I don't want people to take that the wrong way. Like that's my focus.
No, we broke it down.
Right. But I'm saying I don't want people thinking like I'm anti anything.
Right.
Like I got love for everybody.
Right.
And I understand the voices who are in the room and I listen to those voices. But the power in me, the black in me, showed me like, wait a minute. Because if one group is like this and my group ain't like that, that's where that's where you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and that's all I did. Like, wait, the way that they stepping, why my people ain't stepping like that with us?
Right. So then I think it's more or less, and this was Marcus said, like, how do we have those interactions and those conversations to be like, yo, how did y'all do this?
Right.
How did y'all pass that message around? Where is it incentives? Or do you all just care about yourselves more than we care about ourselves?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And that's something that we need to think about, consider. And again, that's why it's so important when you talk about intersectionality, is to understand that we all have similar fights in different directions. And if we can start pulling together, and not just to complain together, but to actually come up with solutions, we can make this place better for all of us. And for those people who aren't on the same pages, so when it comes to making this place better, then they got to go.
Yeah.
Then we can feed them to the system.
Right.
Then we can say, hey, y'all not moving with the collective of people who are trying to make the changes and take steps in the right direction. So y'all can't be here.
Right.
And it's not no kick out or it's not no eviction, but it's going to be a process of elimination to where, yeah, we're going to ask the law to be a little bit more strict on
Right.
you all because y'all causing issues in our community and y'all not trying to learn.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because we need to get to the point where we are building our community out there. These dudes is jokesters, man.
Yo.
They
Hey,
say they
Jared,
wearing
you
the same
funny.
shirt, y'all. Oh, they weren't gonna fight. Yeah, I know. Like, yeah, it starts at home. We need to teach our children. She missed that one. But yeah, man. So again, it's important for us to be having these type of conversations, having these disagreements, and I hope that other people are having these type of conversations in private and not when it's getting to a fight or where it's just like, well, you know what, I ain't talking to you no more, and we never understand
Right.
what the other person was saying or why they were saying it. Like, it is important for dialogue, and
Absolutely.
conversations aren't always comfortable, but it is important to have them, especially when you sit next to somebody who you can trust, when you sit next to somebody you feel comfortable with to express your opinions. Because again, if like this is barbershop talk,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's
If
getting a
if
balance.
we was Michael Jordan versus LeBron, oh, you got it, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and that's just how we do as men, you know what I mean? But
That's why I was laughing in my head.
yeah. Like this is like, and I told everybody like community engagement is my sport, so I'll be paying attention to this stuff. I know who got the assists and who got the dunks, and you know what I mean, all of that stuff. So
when you got two strong heads, man, look here.
Yeah, man.
Hey.
And then when you get to throwing that stuff back and forth.
Yes,
So it's important for us to have these conversations. I'm sure people is entertained by it, but listen, man, I don't know. I don't know. We got we was on an hour and he said Jerry Rice versus
We go- we-
oh
we
no,
gonna go
see
to
that's a bad one.
145, bro.
Jerry Rice the GOAT, man. So we ain't gonna don't
Yeah,
get that. We ain't gonna do that. We
You
ain't gonna
know,
get
he a
started on that.
Niner fan.
We
I'm
ain't-
a
we ain't
Raider
gonna get started
fan.
on that. But yeah, no. So what's today? Because we got what's upcoming. Today is when is the next count? Was it the county council meeting tonight? Or is that next week?
I think it's next week.
Okay, so county council meeting is coming up. I wonder if there's a school board meeting coming because a lot of different things. And then, like I said, we don't want to just be going to these meetings complaining. So for those people who understand that they have issues within the city of Erie, let's figure out how we can start organizing and having conversations beforehand and start coming up with some active plans that we can execute. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people are looking at us and they're like, Jerry said the water meeting was today. A lot of people are looking at us and they're like, these dudes just doing whatever. Or, you know, they just screaming or they have no direction or there's no solutions. And I think that we need to start organizing and we need to start assigning people to positions and be, okay, this is your job. This is your role. That is it.
Absolutely.
Don't try to drive the cars. You just wipe the windows.
Absolutely.
You change the tires.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And we need to we need to be having those conversations to where it gets heated, but people understand. And then if you can't understand through the heat, you can't take the heat. The fuck out the kitchen.
Look.
You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. And you just broke that down because we do need a person here. We do need a person here.
Yeah.
We do need a person.
Yeah.
Everybody don't got to be the spokesperson, but it's somebody that can be behind the spokesperson doing something.
Absolutely. Jerry said meeting nights before council meetings. We definitely need to structure it a bit more. Yeah, bro. Like that. Like we should be. Listen, man, I'm sure it's a church that we can go to, or even if it's a food hall, have some dinner, we can just talk. And then the people who plan on going, even if you don't speak, the people who plan on going to the city council meeting, maybe we can start familiarizing ourselves with one another because there's been times where I'm walking out the, wait, Deontay, I just want to ask you a question real quick. You know what I mean? Or you go in there and people see you like, hey, I saw your last speech. So Francois, thank you for that because I think, and Jared, meetings night before council meetings, we definitely need to structure it a bit more.
Look, maybe you get Mabel to stay open a little bit longer on that night.
Mabel told me she'd give me the key.
Look.
She said, if you ever need to do something here,
y'all hear that?
You know, I'll give you the key. And but then if she give me the key and I'm in it, I mean, I'm gonna have to work. So I'm gonna have to be selling all the sweets.
But you're talking about structure.
Absolutely.
This is infrastructure.
Absolutely.
This is
bro.
how if we're gonna build, this is how we build.
Absolutely. And that's what we need to start doing. And even if it starts with a small group, I know when they were there on Wednesday, they had a flyer that was like, see you Tuesday.
Yeah.
And the meeting was Wednesday. So I'm not sure if they met beforehand. I'm not trying to be the person to organize. I will say that I'm saying that publicly in front of everybody. I do not want to be the person to organize the meetups. If we need to have a space, we can meet at Cafe 710. Everybody know I'm always there. I'm always down to show up. We can meet at the food hall. The food hall is a public space. I smoke cigars, so if anybody wants to meet at the Brig before it, or even if it's in Perry Square while we still have some nice weather, let's figure out how we can be more organized and more strategic. And let's go in there and let's continue to run the meetings out.
Absolutely.
Like, because we don't have to stay.
Look,
them council people have to stay.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if, let's just say, for instance, like, okay, boom, we got 20 people. We know for a fact all 20 of these people are going to speak. I don't have to come in there at 6:30.
Right.
I can get a text. Okay, Deontay, we on person
It's
number 3.
time.
Now the next 20 come in. Now
Yeah.
send in the next wave, and we can start going to the meetings in waves. Everybody's sitting in the park watching it on their phone.
Yeah.
Okay, person 10 is up. All right, let's start walking up the street.
Yeah.
Then they go back down to the food hall, we leave pizza for them, pay it forward. We buy the first pizza, for whatever the case may be. But we need to figure out how we can organize this thing. And because once we start keeping them in there, they're gonna be like, man, give them what they want. If it makes sense.
It makes
if
sense.
The plan, no, I'm saying if the ask makes sense. Now we can come in there and be like, do this, do this.
Right.
But if we come in there and be like, okay, we've talked to this person, that person, we have this organized, so on and so forth, then it's like, man, listen, we gotta give these people what they want, because I'm not about to keep missing dinner.
Right.
You know, I'm not trying to keep missing time with my family. You know, some older folks up there, so I'm sure they got grandkids. You know, Mo works in the school, so it's about to be a school year, about to get back popping. I'm not exactly sure what Jasmine does, but if we got to take their time strategically to get things done, then that's what we need to start doing.
And it's even like what you said. You don't even got to come down there and talk. You can just come in there and sit down and just listen and get some facts or gain some knowledge. Like
Michael Pods, he says, see you next Tuesday. It's a group that meets one Tuesday a week. They are great mutual aid advocates. We need more information on them. We say one Tuesday. Is that before? We talking before the meeting. Now, I'm not trying to
we ain't just meeting.
I don't want to go to meeting every single week. And shout out, kudos to anybody who does do that. But when I tell you I have meetings every single day, I have meetings every single day. So I'm all for meeting before, if it's a school board meeting, if it's a county council meeting, if it's a city council meeting. I'm down with that. You know what I mean? Meeting with that. He said sometimes the most powerful thing to do is sit back observing. Yeah, absolutely, because everybody doesn't have to speak, right? So then let's just say, for instance, if somebody is like, listen, I'm speaking on behalf of all these people, and everybody stand up.
Yeah.
And then as I talk, they all stand up, and then I'm all right, y'all sit down. Yeah. And then it'll show like that too. They'll be like, hold on. They're a little bit more organized, because when such and such came up here and spoke, they all stood up.
Yeah.
And then when such and such came up here and spoke, they all stood up and they turned their back to us.
You know,
and then when such and such came and spoke, they all stood up and they faced the wall. And like, we literally, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But it takes more than me and you.
That's what he said. He said that's the name of the group. Thank you for clearing that up. He said they meet once a month. That's the name of the group. But yeah, we are working on momentum and meeting in general. We will be in touch. Okay, thank you for that. So the name of the group is every Tuesday?
Yeah, what's the name of the group? Hold on, let me go back to
his comment. See you next Tuesday. It's a group. Oh,
is that the name?
So the
See
name
you next Tuesday.
The name of the group is See You Next Tuesday. I thought Michael was telling me I see you next Tuesday because we meet on Tuesdays. Yeah,
like, bro, we ain't coming Tuesday.
Right. The power of influence is intimidating. Absolutely right. So I do I do not want to be the person to organize it.
No.
I can find a space. We can find multiple spaces. We can go to Cafe 710. We can go up to the library. We can go to the food hall. We can sit at Perry Square while it's still nice outside. I'm sure it's a church somewhere around there we can all meet at. But I think that, we should start structuring it like that. And then also that's a way that we can meet people who speak up, because I'm telling you, I'll be hearing some people speaking. I'll be sitting there. I'm like, oh, who the hell is that? They can make some valid points. You know what I mean? Or I go back so when I go back home, I'll watch certain speeches. But yeah, man, it's a lot of people who are up and coming. Like, damn, I never even heard of this person.
Know, the main thing that I want people to understand is, if you are coming to speak, come with your intelligence.
Yeah.
Bring your A game. Know what you're talking about.
Right.
Understand what you're talking about. Because it has to be more voices in our community than just the few that you see. Right. Like, one thing that I don't want people to think is that I am the answer to the community, because I am not.
Right.
Like, I speak my piece. What I say is my piece. I'm speaking for me and my family and what I believe in. But I'm not gonna get up there and act like I'm stupid, like I don't got no sense, like I don't got no college education, like I'm just nothing. Like I am somebody. I understand my community. I understand where I'm from. And I want people to take me serious, because I am a serious individual when it comes to wanting better for not just my family, but for our community. And again, we always talk about, it's so much stuff going on. I'm in tune to everything that is going on.
It's crazy out
across the United States.
I don't know how you do that, man. I couldn't do that, man. That's way too much.
But I'm so entrenched in it, and I'm groomed. It's people. You groom me for some of this stuff. You know what I mean? But the way that I'm able to sit and analyze it and understand it and feed information back into the Erie community about it.
Right.
Like I'm not just posting that stuff.
Right.
Like I'm really getting that stuff from people that are entrenched in those cases.
Right.
So I want to make sure that we in Erie understand it's bigger than a cello.
Right. Absolutely.
Like this is something going on every day. It's bigger than Kevin.
Absolutely.
Kevin goes on every day.
Every day.
It just needs more people to speak on it. Whatever you speak on, like I know what you do in this community. Like if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't know half of what's going on about who's doing that. This city council, this county council, getting up there, going to speak. So the knowledge that you give me with those situations is what I'm giving back with the situations that I deal with.
Right. And that's how we supposed to do it, man. And that's how, and I honestly believe that's how we gonna continue to grow is by sharing that information and showing up for people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And not shaming people when they don't show up, because it takes some courage. And we know a lot of people have a hard time speaking in front of people. So what we don't want to do is make people feel bad, or we don't want to make people look bad, right? But we've been going for quite some time. I'm sure we done pissed some people off. I'm sure we done made some people laugh. I'm sure we done made some people feel good. You know what I mean? Yeah, I was definitely, Jared said DC was lonely at those meetings for years, LOL. I definitely was. Andre Horton was the reason why. He said, you need to start coming to these meetings. I need to pay attention. And then Big Sherrod used to come down there with me. But yeah, man, we appreciate everybody who watched, man. And again, I'm not going to be the person to organize those pre-meeting meetings,
right?
But I would definitely be down to attend. I definitely can find a space to host. I'm definitely open to going to those city council, county council, school board meetings to be a support for somebody, even when I don't have anything that I want to speak about, because again, we as a community need to start coming together. But I also want to say this is not for us to go and just complain. We also need to be talking about solutions. We need to have solution-based conversations. And when we are presenting ideas, we also need to be able to identify the people who are going to be willing to do the work, who are able and capable of doing the work, and who we can rely on. Because what we can't have is people who are unreliable and we're doing all of this work. And, you know, they say 1 weak link.
Yeah.
It messed the whole chain up. You know what I mean? So again, I'm not sure if you got more to say. You said 145, so I'm going to pass the mic to you, bro.
We're going to end it off because we are trying to get our social impact page, the Plight of the Black Man, Malcolm Pulliam and Deontay Cooley. We need to get that page up to 100 followers. We are at about 93, 94. So the first person that gets us to 100 will receive one of these nice t-shirts that we are rocking tonight. These are the first 2 t-shirts made, and me and my brother got these shirts on. So
hold on, let me put the camera on Malk, because Malk's saying he gonna be the one that he doing the shirt. He giving away the shirt.
You gonna get a free shirt. Malcolm, make us 100.
Oh, number 100. So Malcolm,
number 100. Because we need 100 people so that we can start.
We can go live on our page as well. You know what I mean? So Malcolm said number 100.
Go follow our page.
Go follow the page. When we find out who number 100 is, they're going to get. Oh, wow. Michael said unfollowing and following at 99. Don't even try it, Jared.
That's all right. I'm gonna get my wife to follow that 99.
Mabel said, can we order one? Yeah, absolutely. We're working on it. Elise said she'd make us some. We're going to have them. As needed though. You know, we ain't about to be walking around with a bunch of these t-shirts. I done been in the t-shirt business before. You know what I mean? And I still got I got t-shirts from the ones I made. I still got Reg 11 t-shirts. So again, we ain't gonna sit on them, but we definitely have somebody who can make the design. We definitely can get the orders ready. And it will also be Black Access Media shirts.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I know Craig is watching. I'm not sure if he's working on some etc. shirts or not, and I'm not sure if Sav working on shirts. But I know Marcus is working on some Black Access Media stuff. I'm not sure if he's working on the next 2.0 mornings curated by Marcus or the briefing room. But Malcolm and I have shirts.
Look,
for ourselves. These are the only 2 shirts. These are the only 2. You know what I mean? We got somebody who's ready to make them on order. Marcus is getting his shirts. Hopefully Craig is getting him some shirts.
Fire.
Hopefully Sav is getting him some shirts. Again, we taking off and we're going to keep going. And we're going to keep elevating, man. We appreciate everybody for joining us.
Love
if
y'all.
you have not done so already, make sure you download that Black Access Media app. Look, Jerry said, I got shirts. Jerry got shirts. So, make sure that you download the Black Access Media app. And then also tomorrow morning, after Marcus does his top 20 countdown, we are going to have a special episode. R.I.P. Snowy. Jerry said he got shirts. He got Ripper shirts too. But we're going to have an episode. It's going to be exclusively for Snowy. R.I.P. Snowy. Me and Malcolm will be talking a little bit about how we appreciate Snowy, the role she played in our lives. I also want to make sure that I thank Dr. Tyler Titus for, at the beginning of the meeting, having a moment of silence for Snowy at the beginning, because again, he knows how important, they know how important Snowy was to us. They know that Snowy was behind us, you know what I mean? So
look.
Yeah, man, it was definitely appreciated, man. We got a special episode tomorrow for Snowy. Make sure that you tune in. Download the Black Access Media app if you haven't done so already. If you're going to be listening to radio, is 90 WICU 92.7 HD2. Listen, Jerry said y'all better not end this show, man. It seems like every time we get to the 2-hour mark, that's when the most viewers come. But I'm hungry, man. I ain't eat nothing today because I went to the gym late.
Eat too.
All I had was a protein shake, man. I got to get out of here. We appreciate y'all. Absolutely. You can reach out, man, inbox or whatever, comment on it. Keep talking to everybody who's been on here, maybe tag some folks. But we're going to keep this thing going. We're going to have an uncomfortable conversation. We're going to have comfortable conversations. We're going to complain a little bit, but we always going to talk about solutions.
Yes.
I know myself personally, I'm always going to piss somebody off. I don't know if that's Malk style or not. I love to piss people off, but I love to bring them back as well. You know what I mean? So I know I'm always going to piss somebody off, but it's all from love. It's all good intentions, and we gonna continue. Look. He said, "Man, pack a brown bag next time." We gonna continue. He said, "What he said," and not to take away from anyone else in the room, but as a Black man in this community who knows a few things about energy, just us coming together and acknowledging each other's individually, is using our own resources to join forces to shift the city's narrative. Absolutely,
I dig it.
Jerry said, "Pack a brown bag." Look, what you call it? KFC right next door. If I still ate that mess, I'll run out the door and leave Malk up here.
I don't eat it.
No, I said if I still ate it, I would just leave you on here on the mic and just run down there and grab me a little box or something. But
we gonna get off these mics. But hey, please, y'all, moment of silence from Snow Dog. The funeral is Saturday. Everything is posted online. If you are attending the services, y'all come out and y'all pay y'all respect to Snowy Crosby, her family. She was stepping for cello, her cousin, her brother. She loved him. We love her. We hate to see how this has came to fruition with her and her family, but best believe we gonna make sure we see this thing, this justice for cello. We gonna see this all the way through for her.
All the way through.
All the way through.
R.I.P. Snowy. We are out, man. Y'all have a good night, man. Y'all be safe.